the first shoot, I hired you.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the very first job that we did, I look over and I'm recording, but I look over and LaRon's sleeping in the corner.
I wasn't.
So that was the that was my first.
You know what?
That was my first experience hiring a sound mixer. What's going on, family? It's your boy A1. Welcome to the Cinematography Lounge podcast, episode 1. I'm your host, Adrian Herrera, aka A1, and I'm joined by my boy, sound mixer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother, LaRon Cooper. LaRon, what's good, bro? How you feeling? Episode 1. We're here. How you feeling, bro?
Bro, we are here. This has been a long time coming. I'm super excited.
A long time coming. Even today, bro. I was an hour late. I had technical difficulties. But the podcast, bro, so I've been wanting to do a podcast for the Cinematography Lounge for a minute. So, I started with the YouTube, I started with the Patreon, and the podcast is something like a vision that I always wanted to do, but I just never had the right format, and I feel like I never had the right partner. Because, there's film podcasts out there, but, this is a Cinematography Lounge, right? However, we want to go deeper and not just cinematography. You know, that's why, having your perspective as a sound mixer, that you get on different sets than I do, you have a different perspective. Yeah. So I feel like we're not just going to dive into cinematography, but we're going to dive into business. We're going to dive into everything in the film world, bring in other people from other departments, not just so it's the Cinematography Lounge podcast, but that's just the jumping off point because I feel like cinematography is how we got here in the first place.
Yes.
So you were the first sound mixer that I hired. So
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro, you knew that.
I don't think I did. I thought it was Mikey. I thought Mike.
No. So Mike,
wow, I didn't know that.
Mike was the first person I ever hired just to help me when I went freelance.
Oh, I didn't know that, bro.
And then if we just take a step back, what I do, if anybody doesn't know us, I'm a cinematographer in the film in the commercial space, documentary space, and then you're a sound mixer in every aspect in all the spaces, sports, commercial, doc.
Yeah.
And so, but the way we connected was on a short film.
Yeah.
So we both just volunteered to be on a short film here in Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And you're in Boston right now. I'm in Kansas City, so I'm in the Midwest. So, but we connected in Kansas City on a short film. And then it was when we just, I remember it was behind the scenes, there was a take going on. And I just looked at you and we were just talking. We just clicked.
Yeah, we did. We did.
And that was literally when I first went freelance. And I think you went freelance around the same time, right?
I went freelance. I was still working a day job, but I was prioritizing film more than my day job. I was working at a temp agency. So I didn't really care about the job. I didn't care if I got fired. Right. It wasn't going on my resume. I only put jobs that I knew the bosses would give me a good recommendation to go to the next job. But
so you was working on a temp job. So you was basically signing up for temp job
dog. I smell like dirty dishwater. That's hard to get out.
So what was the most random job you've ever done before you went full-time freelance? And what year was this? So because we linked up back in 2018, I think, or 2019. I think it was maybe 2019. So that was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I want to say 2016. I think the most random job I did, I worked. You're not gonna believe this, man. I worked at a forensic FBI. It was a police. It was a police warehouse.
What was you doing?
So I was at a conveyor belt and I had to wear gloves and I had to stuff envelopes with very important papers. And if I got it mixed up or whatever, because this went out to different jail cells and stuff like that. So if I got it mixed up or I got it wrong, it was crucial. And there was only 3 of us there, so it was easy to pinpoint who did something wrong. And there's cameras. And I did that for, I think it was only a couple of months, and it was an easy job. The hardest thing was trying to stay awake and also not to do the job very quickly because you ran out of work. So you took your time, but you kind of sped up when the boss came around type of job,
So for people that don't know what a sound mixer does, explain to the average, videographer who's just coming up, that aren't on sets that need sound mixers or gaffers or anything. What does a sound mixer do?
Yeah, so a sound mixer is someone that comes on the set and gets the cleanest audio possible. So, for example, if you're filming in a kitchen, I would come in. If we get a location scout, I would come in and turn off the refrigerators. Like, hey, like this fridge is going on. We need to make sure that's off. Can we control the air when we're about to shoot? You know, do we have access to that? Are we by trains? Are we by busy highways? Is this an active kitchen? Like, are we at a at a corporate place?
So
So that all
is
goes into place
so
when doing
you're
location
that's
scout.
your dedicated job, right? So like, you know,
Get,
if I as a run if I'm doing like a one man band type, you know, I
yeah.
usually would bring a boom mic or a lav.
Mm,
But if on bigger jobs, like I said, you were my
hmm
first
hmm
person I hired as a sound mixer. We met on the set
Yeah.
of a short film.
Yeah.
We became cool, and I told you like, hey, bro, if I ever need a sound mixer, I'll hit you up.
I didn't think he was
And
gonna hire me, y'all.
that's what I'm saying. And
I didn't.
honestly, I
I
was
was passed
gripping.
by.
I
Yeah,
was
bro.
gripping on this short film. So you
I
probably
didn't.
didn't even think I was a cinematographer,
I didn't
like a
think he
real
was
cinematographer.
serious. No, I was nice. I was just like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, bro. Dapped it up, and I was
Right.
like, see you when I see you.
Hey, and then bro, on the first shoot that we did, because
Yeah.
I was coming up slowly as a DP, right? The first shoot, I needed a DP. I'm like, all right, bet. I just met a sound mixer. I
hmm
hired you,
hmm
and then on the very first job that we did, I look over and I'm recording. Right, I'm shooting. LaRon, I don't need LaRon for another 20 minutes because we're about to do interviews. But I look over and LaRon's sleeping in the
I was
corner.
not. I wasn't.
So that was the that was my
Oh,
first
you know what?
that was my first experience
Gotcha.
hiring a sound mixer. Got me. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
But so that was the first nap that I experienced with LaRon
Okay,
on set.
so
It wouldn't be the last,
oh
but
no. Okay, so
that was the first.
so to clear my name, it was it was a big O job. It was the company was called Big O Tires, and Adrian, I just don't think he knew like what to tell me to do because it was his first time really hiring out somebody for sound.
Hey,
So I'm
we
like,
was
hey,
both.
bro,
Hey, we
like,
was both young pups in the game, bro. We was
I
both
was like,
young
what do you want
pups.
me to do? Like, what do you want me to? And you're like, yeah, like we just got an interview and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, when is that? You're like, oh, I'm not sure. And at the time, bro, it was just like honestly, it was like an event. Like we're just shooting random
Yeah.
interviews.
No, it was like a
And
conference, and then
yeah,
like
and
afterwards we
so
pull people to the side and interview people.
during the event, they're talking like a meeting or whatever, and I'm in the corner because like they don't need me for sound, and I was a little tired. I made a couple. I wasn't snoring,
You
but
was
I definitely
slow.
just
You was
I did
slow.
this number. I was like listening to my levels. I did this number, but I wasn't asleep.
All right, bro. So to back up, if I was to define cinematography, I always tell people like, every movie that you watch, is shot by a cinematographer. So like a director, you have your directors, you have your producers, and those are the people that are involved in like the back end, the big vision, the story. The cinematographer is the one who executes, that vision
Yeah.
with camera, with lighting, with crew, and curating the look. So the
Mhm.
cinematographer like paints the image for the vision of the director. And sometimes I like at the level that I'm at, sometimes I have to direct as well if
Yeah.
if it's like a smaller crew. But most of the time I'm working with directors and producers, and they're
Mhm.
hiring me to execute. And I'm always like, and I always say we're both. Like
Yeah.
when you're a part of a crew, you're like a mercenary.
Department head. Yeah.
You're like a hired gun,
Yeah.
basically in the film world, and
Yeah.
that's how we see ourselves. So it's like when people ask me like, bro, how do you like you're based in Kansas City, but you like work in
Mhm.
LA with these people or you work on these projects? Like, how do you
Yeah.
do that from Kansas City? And it's like once you get in, now it's like
You're
you
networking.
are a hired mercenary,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter where you're at. People
Exactly.
see the work, people see, you have a good reputation, and now you can be all over the world.
Yeah.
But there's a threshold that you have to break through in order to get there. And I think that's why, like, I wanted to start this podcast with me and you because we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, part of it is like demystifying like the film world. Whether it's through cinematography
Mhm.
or sound mixing, and the
Mhm.
guests that we might bring on, like as a director or producer
Yeah.
or whatever department, we want to demystify for like people that might look at me or you or
Mhm.
people that other people that they admire, like the Roger Deakins or whatever. It's like how do you even get there? And it's like that's
Seriously.
what we want to break down in this podcast. And so like what you were saying earlier, like like the clients and stuff, like it took me like I would say a year to kind of feel like I can finally sustain an income as a
Yeah,
freelancer. You know what I mean?
bro, bro.
And that's
Yes,
kind of fat.
yes.
That's kind of fast. Like some people like it takes longer,
It
but
takes long.
yeah, luckily it took me like a year, and like it took me like a year until to get like my first ESPN job, and
Hmm.
then after that, like kind of the floodgates open because once you have like a brand on your
Yeah.
resume, your portfolio, then it's like okay, it shows other networks
Hmm.
that you can be trusted, and
Well,
so
no,
you know what I mean?
yeah, and I kind of want to pick up on that point because for me, I commend Adrian because you didn't go to school for sound, or excuse me, for cinematography. You didn't go to school for cinematography, so
Right.
it was a different thing. Like I went to school and I was still in the process of like trying to make a name for myself. Like going through two internships. I went to a radio
Mhm.
station. I thought I was going to be an actor at one point. I
So
even
So where did you start? So did you always know you were going to be in sound, or did you want to do something else? Like, tell me
yeah.
your backstory because I don't even think I heard like the full backstory of like
Yes.
how you got to where you're at now. You know what I mean? Hey, fam bam! Don't forget to subscribe to the channel or follow the podcast if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music. It'll really help the podcast grow, and my kids will think I'm cool. So help me and Uncle LaRon look cool for my kids. Appreciate it. Back to the episode.
Yeah. I actually went to a post college in high school, and I went to college in high school for 2 years, and I did graphic design. And I knew I wanted to do something art. I just didn't know what it was back in the
Mm,
day. Like YouTube wasn't big, so I did graphic design for 2 years. Got an associate's, and I left high school like, man, this isn't what I want to do. And but I knew I wanted to do something creative. And
mm.
I liked movies a lot. I like Star Wars. I'm a huge like anime. I like cartoons, like all that. And I went to school for art. And I didn't know what I want to do. I was like, film sounds cool. Like I like
What
Star
school did you go
Wars.
to? Like this is college, right?
Yeah, this is college. This is college. I went to the Art Institute's International of Kansas City, which got shut down because they were charging kids and students that they didn't need to take classes, and it was just like they were scamming a lot of people, debt free. But they were scamming a lot of students. But in that time period when I was at school, I just started doing sound. No one was doing it. Like like when the kids were raising their hands, they were like, "I want to be a DP. I want to be a director. I want to be a writer." And I was like, they literally was like, "Hey, Laurent." Like I remember vividly. It was like had a group and everyone had to pick a category, and
Mm.
I was like, "I'll do sound." And I did a project for a lady called. I did a project for somebody in school, and she was like, "Laurent, this audio is really good. Like you should pursue sound." And I kind of was like, I thought she was just being nice, and
Mm.
I was like, "Okay, cool. Like I'll just keep doing it." And so I did it for 4 years when I was in college. Nobody else did sound, bro. And
For real.
so
So
like,
so you did sound 4 years in college,
yes,
bro.
bro.
So I
And
mean that right there is like film school. Like
one on one, bro. Yeah,
yeah, you know what
yeah.
I mean.
I was when I say I did so many 48-hour film fest. Me and my friends, and this is a good idea. Now, till this day, it's a good idea. We were broke college students, but we were saying we were all going to band together and go to every single state and do a 48-hour film fest and document the 48-hour film fest of ourselves shooting 48-hour film fest. And we didn't, nothing happened of it, but I did a
You
lot
had
of
you
those
had
free
but you had the
jobs.
vision though. You had
We
the
had the
vision.
vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So we were gonna do that. Plus, like they're called like one night stands where you shoot a movie in 24 hours.
Right. Right.
Like, and that's how I got my experience
Just
as so I
doing.
thought,
Just
just
like
doing it,
just doing
just
for
doing it
four
because I
years.
was hungry for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happened when you graduated? Like, did you go straight
Mm.
into, or like, did you jump in the temp line and start? Was you a garbage man or what was it? The
Oh,
FBI?
it was rough, bro. I it was rough, bro. During college, I was working at Pizza Hut, and I was a pizza man, and I worked in a store. I wasn't a delivery driver. It was kind of like rough for me to be a delivery driver where I was working at. But we we were climbing, bro. Like no one took that job serious. But I was doing that plus college, and so when I left college, I was still working at Pizza Hut, and I think the switch turned for me because we had like a fair day where you had to set up a booth and like had an elevator pitch, like just random people walk to the school and you try to like, hey, this is what I do and I can work for your company. Um, and I ran into a guy named Andy Wright. He's still a good friend to this day. And he had a construction company and like, he did architectural work, like redesign, backyards and some beautiful backyards at that. And I decided to start shooting these backyards
Like,
and
what do you
doing
mean?
sound.
Like filming? Like,
Yes, bro. I was filming these backyards, bro.
so that was your first job out of
That
college?
was my first like actual paying job
Yeah.
out of college. And I was just like, they're still up on YouTube to this day. Maybe I should take them down after this. But
You went from getting that first job, and then when
yeah.
did you, did you give up? When did you always try to pursue, film and sound mixing, or like was you working it for somewhere for a minute? Like when did you
I think
transition?
great question, A1. I think I never gave up because I saw my parents, both my parents are entrepreneurs. I saw other family members are entrepreneurs. I saw my dad always walking around with a wad of cash, and I was like, bro, like, I want to do that. Whatever he's doing, like, I never gave up. There was times like I felt like comparing myself. I think everyone goes through that, like comparing myself. I think, it got me hungry. Like I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna apply for this radio station, and I applied for a Cumulus radio station out in Merriam, Kansas.
And so how many years was it, years
I
was it from
think
when you graduated to when you started
shoot.
freelancing? How many years was in between?
So I started freelancing 2018.
And you graduated college 2014?
14. Yeah, so it took me 4 years, bro.
Dang.
4 years. And radio station, did that for the summer, and then I was like, what's next? My friend Devontae Brown. My friend Devontae Brown hit me up. He's like, hey man, there's an internship out in Lawrence, Kansas. And we already knew some people that interned there. And I was like, shoot. I was like, let me see if I can apply. So I sent them an email. They're like, hey, our position's already full, but try again next summer. Bro, I went to my calendar and I put it in my calendar of the day I should send them another email.
Oh, dang.
Yes.
Oh,
because
dang.
I saw a commercial that they did. It was like for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they did a Star Wars commercial. And like,
so
bro.
you was hyped. You was like, I'm going to get this.
I want to do, yes. And so I ended up emailing them again. They're like, hey, we got a position. And that's when I met Marcus Guider, and then J.S. Hampton.
That was local.
Chris Bradley.
J.S.
They're
Hampton,
all local.
producer, that's local.
Yes.
Yeah, some local filmmakers.
Correct.
And people of color. So now you found like your tribe a little bit.
Yes. I think Marcus taught me how to do sound. And this is kind of crazy, but hear me out. Marcus is a cinematographer. He's DP. But he gave me the opportunity to keep hiring me on jobs. And he kept giving me opportunities to learn. And so that's what really kept pushing me and giving me like this, like, I was getting paid after I did the internship. And he kept hiring me. Jeremy, same thing with Jeremy Osborne, and Chris Blanc. They kept hiring me.
They're DPs, local DPs.
They're Jeremy Osborne, he's a DP in Lawrence. He does all over the world. Chris Blanc, he's a producer / writer.
So it wasn't until you got your first freelance sound mixing job after you took an internship. So you basically went in-house, found a tribe, and now you got people that not only like you as a person, but like are trusting you with sound. And that's how like the ball starts to get rolling.
The ball was just rolling. Like I could easily like, hey, is there any work? Or hey, they used to hit me up. And bro, I was nervous to do like just interviews. I PA'd through them, and I was like a driver. Like I went to go get ice. It was nothing like intense it was like it's like in-house stuff, so it was nothing crazy. Or Marcus used to hit me. Marcus used to hit me up. He's like, "Hey, we need to clean out the warehouse and we need to organize stuff." Which those days I did not like.
But
Uh,
well, here's the thing. Something about you that I know about this specific job is that this was just a Lawrence internship. You lived in
correct,
Kansas City. So
correct.
when they said, "Hey, you're accepted into this internship. It's Lawrence only." But you was based out of Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a
So
good question.
so you basically
Yeah,
was like, "Yeah, I could I'm you didn't say that you were from Lawrence, but you didn't tell them you were not from Lawrence so
correct,
that you can get to internship
correct.
and you were commuting back and forth and they didn't even know."
Yeah, Ashley knew when she asked me. She's like, "Where are you based?" I was like, "Oh, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri." She's like,
Mm.
"Oh," and honestly, I was actually in Independence, which for people that don't know, Independence and Lawrence, that's like an hour and maybe some change, like hour and 15.
Yeah.
And I was doing that like almost every other day, if not every day. And I was only getting paid like seven something an hour, seven and I don't know, 50 cents an hour. But I was so like, this was it, right? A1, like this was
Right.
like, this is what I want to do. And yeah, so I just kept at it, man. And from that, you just keep putting yourself out there. You keep networking.
Now, 'cause, like, I'm proud of you, bro. Now you're doing, HBO Max. You're doing,
I'm proud of you too, man. Yeah.
you're in the sports world big time. So that's
Yeah.
like SEC Network. That's like ESPN. That's like,
Yeah.
so how did your career? Because I feel like people need to know this type of stuff of like,
I think they do.
how do I get there from like
Yeah.
just starting out?
Persistence and accountability and determination. I think those are really key points. When me and Adrian met, I did sound for him and he was not paying me, but he made me believe that he had other work. And I think it was just a manifestation of like he knew, A1 knew what he wanted to do. And when you tell A1 something or he believes something, it will happen. It may not be like right there, but he will make it happen, bro.
Appreciate it.
And so I believed him, and we were cool. Like we're just like on like I would say like a film friend relationship. It was nothing like crazy. Like now I call him every day, but we had met up on the film and we did a good job together. And he invited me out to do another short film he did with Jada. And that blew up, bro. Like ESPN was sharing it. Like it blew up on YouTube. A lot of her teammates were watching it. And
This
I
is
just
a
tell you,
amateur sports
yeah,
high
it
school
was
phenom that we did, like a short film that I did, and 500,000 views on YouTube,
yeah.
300,000 on Instagram. ESPN short shared the link to the video, and that was like my project that introduced kind of like what I could bring to the cinematography world in Kansas City. But we'll get to that once
Yeah.
we kind of get to where you landed.
Yeah. And so I think Adrian just kept hiring me, and Adrian met someone named Mecca Brown. And honestly, Adrian helped me land my first Netflix project. And the
Shout out to Micah. Shout out to
Micah. And the blessing behind that was Marcus Guider ended up being the DP on it, or the camera op on it. And it was like a full circle moment. Marcus saw me grow. Adrian was seeing me grow. And I had this responsibility now to run a whole department for sound on a Netflix project. And it's crazy because it never got greenlit. Like it never showed, but it was so intense.
And what you're talking about is like, because we linked up,
Yes.
and then I linked up with a director, showrunner, and he was asking for references for this thing that I wasn't even on. And I told him about you. I'm like, hey, yeah, I just linked up with the sound mixer. My boy, his name is Laron. He knew one of your relatives. He's like, okay, cool. So let me recommend him to this Netflix job without even hiring you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's the power of relationships, and also like linking up not only with the right people, but having strong relationships, and having people trust you, having integrity, because based on my word, you was hired by somebody that never even heard of or even knew you.
Instantly. And I want to, and I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but I want to say this to everybody that's watching, it does not matter what you're getting paid. Do the job to the best of your ability, whether you're getting paid or not paid, because you don't know where that leads you. And with Adrian called me when he was editing. He was like, bro, I've never heard audio this clean before.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that
But
was when I understood the power of like good sound mixing, because I had been
yeah,
doing one man band stuff all the way up until that point. And then I hired you as a sound mixer for the first time on a short film that I was doing. Just an idea of like, hey, I'm doing this for free. I'm not getting paid. I'm actually spending money on it, but I want to step my game up, do something I never did before. I want to bring on a sound mixer. And then I saw the value of having a sound mixer to my production.
Yeah.
And that's how like we kind of stayed locked in, because it's like, okay, as I'm moving up, you're also moving up with me, because now we had networked across instead of trying to network up.
It was like the Wonder Twins. We just activated. You know what I'm saying? It was like the Wonder Twins. We activated. It was like, in form of great production, you know?
So that's basically, you got that first Netflix gig, right? Just starting off.
Yeah.
And then when was it when you was like, okay, I'm going to quit this temp stuff and I'm going to just go full time?
So I quit. At that time, I was working for the government at the IRS building in Kansas City, and I quit October 2018. And it was like at 6 a.m. I had like the night shift, like the graveyard shift. I walked in back in my apartment. At the time, I was talking to my fiance and now my wife, but I woke her up and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done working for somebody. And she woke up. She's like, oh, okay. She was just tired, you know. And and at that point, I got put up against a corner. I was like, there's bills I need to pay. Like,
right. It got real.
It got real quick, bro.
Yeah.
I sent out an email to every single body I knew. Adrian already knew I went freelance. Like, I just sent it all out. And and after that, it was just like go time.
Right. And I didn't even know, honestly, when I met you, I didn't know you was still working a job, because I think you did a good job of like trying to keep the perception of like, I'm in it, even though I haven't like basically gone all in. I'm, you know what I'm saying? I need people to know that I'm a legit sound mixer and not like, doing it on the side.
Because I think that's huge, right? Like, because it shows people dedication. And for you, like, your story is impeccable how you started, because there's connections that you had to this day that have blossomed into something crazy. So I want you to kind of tell about your story and how you got started, because I think it's totally different how I got started. But for some reason, we still linked up at the right time, at the right place to work together till this day.
So like growing up, I was like always a creative kid, but like my like ball was life. I always say like that's how I tell people, like ball was like literally from like the
D1 athlete.
From the 5th to 6th grade, I trained all the way up until I was done with college. Like that was like my life. Like I always tell people, my first love was basketball, my second love was film. And so that's what I did. I mean, every summer, every single day, like that was my, like, I got a work ethic. I feel like I got from my dad, because my dad works construction.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like my whole life, my dad didn't finish high school. Like he got like a 9th grade. He from like 15, 16, he went and worked construction and lied and said he was 18. He dropped out of college and then he kind of started from the ground up and did that hit. He's still doing it now. He's a foreman and stuff like that. But anyways, I saw my dad waking up, you know what I'm saying, at 4:00, every day. And he always told me that he hated his job, and I was like, that kind of motivated me to like get my education. And the way I was going to get my education was through basketball. Like that was like my love and my passion. So that kind of motivated me to be different, to get an education and to not have to find a job that I hate. Because even though like he's good at what he does, he always said he didn't want that like for us, for me and my brothers, or at least for me, because I had like basketball talent. You know what I mean?
Well, let's dive into this a little bit deeper, because not only were you a really good athlete, but you made skits, and those skits were very creative. And I had the pleasure of watching some of these, and bro, honestly, they're ahead of their time. You know,
bro. I think so
Like,
too.
for
To be
real.
honest with you, bro,
Some of those
I
are
think
ahead of
so
their
too.
time, bro.
So, like I said, throughout my
You
whole
were like the
young,
influencer before the
right? That's what I'm
influencer.
saying. Right when YouTube was popping off,
For
you know what I'm
real,
saying. I
you
was
could have
kind of like
made
right
something out of
there,
that.
you know.
Yeah.
But so throughout basketball, I had a successful basketball career, like all state, all city, state championships. I got a scholarship to play basketball in college. But throughout like my high school days, my young days, like
Yeah.
I started to make these short films because I made this Michael Jordan highlight tribute one day when I was like 13, and it was like that's when the light bulb hit. Like I was a drawer, I was creative, but when I combined my creativity with film, it was like I fell in love right then and there. I stayed up like all night one time, like editing this like Michael Jordan highlight video from these clips I downloaded from LimeWire, and it was like I looked up and the sun came up, and it was like I was like laser focused, and that's when I fell in love with film. And so basketball and film was like always in my life growing up. I would turn projects, school projects into films. Went to college. I got a degree in communications.
What college did you go to?
So I played JUCO basketball for 2 years at Cloud County, and I was taking film classes there.
Where is like for people that don't know, where is Cloud County?
So
like,
I grew up.
what's JUCO?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let me back up. I grew up in Topeka, Kansas. From Topeka, Kansas. Shout out to Topeka.
Hot in Topeka.
Hey, shout out to Highland Park High School, state champs. And then I went to Cloud County, played 2 years, which is a small school in the middle of Kansas. Like literally, like think of like the smallest state or smallest city you can think of in the middle of like rural Kansas, and that's where these JUCOs were. So from JUCO, I went to Pittsburgh State University, and then I finished my basketball career there, and then I majored in communications with an emphasis in TV broadcasting. And so I did that, bro, thinking like, well, I'm gonna get a desk job like when I graduate. I might as well have fun making films, you know, while I'm in college. And so my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend. She followed me to Pittsburgh State. She was finishing up her degree. So while I was my basketball career ended, I decided I was going to get a master's degree because
bro, you have a master's?
You didn't know I had a master's degree?
Bro, I did not know you had a master's, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's not something that honestly a lot of not my sister didn't know I had a master's degree until like 2 years ago.
Bro, you have a master's?
I have a master's degree, bro.
Guys, give it up. Give it up for A1. Bro, I didn't know you had a master's.
So,
yeah,
go ahead.
Bro, talk to me about that a little bit because this is new to me. I just thought you played basketball. I know you got your education. And what you told me was like you were just kicking it with your friends making videos.
No, that's not at all what I was doing, bro. Like literally,
this dude's a genius, y'all. This dude is a mad genius.
All right, so check this out. So, I ended my basketball career. Okay, 4 years, I was done. I needed an extra semester to graduate.
Why did you back up a little bit? Why did you stop playing basketball? Because you were good. Like it wasn't like you were not good. It wasn't like you did not love the sport.
Bro, I'm 5'10", I'm Mexican, I'm half Mexican, the other half black and native. I wasn't going to the league. And I was not also I also wasn't going overseas, bro, because the overseas life no why you look like Kanye when you do that? But the overseas life isn't for everybody, bro, because like you might go overseas and play professional, but you might only have like a $25,000 contract. It's not like what you see on TV where like if you go overseas you're gonna make a bag. Like if you're
loving basketball.
No, unless you're at a high major Division I, like you're not gonna get a good contract. So it's
this
like
Coach
I knew
Carter.
that. Right. I don't know. No, Coach Carter's high school.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
And so I knew that like my basketball career was done. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that was a perfect opportunity because I had one more semester. So you only get 4 years of eligibility, right?
Yeah.
Basketball. I don't know if you know this. Now they get like 6 or 7 because of NIL and crazy stuff.
Hey, if everybody knows this, I do not know sports. Like what he's talking to me is jargon.
LeBron knows zero of sports. He works in the sports world, knows zero. So I played 4 years of college basketball. That's all you get, or at least when I was coming up. Now they get more years. And so I was done, but I still needed to get my degree, right? And so I had a semester left. And during that semester, right before getting my graduate degree, I took these film classes that the school provided, and they had not provided for years. So like I took like TV producing and directing, and like documentary filmmaking, and that was like my mini film school. And so I took a whole semester doing those classes with my team with my teammates, and like we directed, like I directed and produced this show called On Campus with A1 and Drake, with my boy Drake, who's now working in the marketing field at Adidas, doing great things. But we built this skit comedy show.
Can we pause for a second? Can we pause for a second? Can we pull that up? Like, can we pull a skit up?
Yeah.
You watch this for a second.
I, nose, thigh, I'd much rather die than look up at the sky and say, yo, I am not the greatest rapper that's alive. Yes, it is a lie. It doesn't mean that I don't try. Kick it every single freaking night. That's the way I do it, and I always do it right.
They say we warriors. They say we did it again.
You are officially on campus with A1, myself. We're going to do a little Q&A with people on campus, see what we find out, ask some questions, get some answers, and then just go from there. Let's go. Would you rather been a slave owner or a slave?
Oh, damn. Whoa, have to pick one?
Gotta pick one.
Oh, God, okay. I'll be that person, slave, owner. I don't know.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
This man out here.
So look,
influencer.
That was like, for me, bro, that was like my mini film school. I was like that semester. And then I was literally editing and shooting like each episode for like, basically we were shooting and I was editing for like 5-6 days. I'd have a day of rest. And then we would come out with the next episode. I'd shoot it and edit for the rest of the week. So I only had like
locked in, bro.
Well, I was locked. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was
locked in, bro.
And we did like 6 episodes like that for like 6 weeks straight. I was just like burning and turning.
Yeah.
And so that gave me the confidence because I got really good reviews from like the teachers. They were playing it on the TVs around the school.
Wow.
So people would see me and were like, "Oh, bro, I love your show." Like a security guard said, like, because they just run it on the school network television show, they would run my episodes.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started getting notoriety of like, I can actually do this and people like it. You know what I mean?
Well, and let's put this in perspective. Topeka's not a big place. So and you were popular because you were a good athlete. And you combine that with that audience going to let's just call it your YouTube channel, because that's what it was.
Right.
And it blows up into something bigger than you probably would have ever expected. And please believe, if you still have them up, like we should let the audience go and click.
I think I do. If not, bro, I'm gonna probably I'll like, it might be set to private. I'll bring it back up so people can see.
Just a couple, so
there's a playlist.
People can put it in context.
So even after that, bro, like, so after all of that, right? Like, I still in my mind was like, this is just for fun.
And this is when you're done with college, right? Like you're done with college.
I'm done with college basketball.
Done with college basketball,
but I'm still in college.
But you're still in college.
My wife was still getting her degree. So like in this time, like she's getting her degree, I'm like, well, let me just let me finish my degree. And then when I was done, I was like, this is like the last time that I'm going to be putting out videos because I got to get a big boy job.
Yeah.
So my wife still needed like 2 more semesters. And so because I'm native, I get benefits, education benefits. They give us like, hey, they hook us up. Shout out to the Prairie Band Potawatomi, bro.
Yeah. That's what's
up.
So
what happened was I decided that I was going to get my master's degree because they were going to pay for it if I decided to get further my education.
Oh, nice.
And so I got a free grant to get a master's degree. And so I wanted to take advantage of that because being an athlete, you don't do a lot of internships because during the summer you have to work out. It's like this push and pull. Like during the summer, it's like it's still a full-time job working out because if you don't, you're not going to be good. And if you're not good, you're not going to be on the team. And so that's why I'm pro NIL now, because these athletes get paid for what they do, in college. They're, back in the day, we was just like struggling on the struggle bus. So I decided to get my master's degree, bro, just to prove that I was more than an athlete. You know what I'm saying? Just to prove that like I came from Highland Park, which is like considered a bad school in Topeka, Kansas. I played basketball my whole life. I needed to show on my resume that I could do more than just, athletics. So
And let's go. Let's fast forward a little bit. So you got done with college.
So fast forward, I graduated with my degree in communication, right? And I took like a little mini film school there, right? In the communication. Shout out to Pittsburgh State, and they have a great communication program.
Pittsburgh.
I'm about to graduate with my master's degree, right? But I find out I have to do a thesis, which is like usually like 120-page paper, bro. And to me, that sounded like hell to me. Like I'm just like, bro, I cannot do this. But somebody
you got
told
a master's,
me,
bro. It's easy.
But look, it's not easy. But somebody told me, bro, that instead of writing a thesis, you could do a creative project instead. And so I'm like, okay, creative project. So then my mind starts going like, all right, bet, let me just do a documentary. Ooh. And so I got this idea to do a documentary on my old high school basketball team.
Because I did not know this, bro. I didn't know this.
Bro. So it was the last year of my high school coach's year at that school. He was Hall of Famer, multiple state championships, and he was about to end his career at that school. And it just happened to coincide with the year that I wanted to do a documentary project on my old high school and following his last year. Long story short, bro, I spent like the next semester and a half basically following the team. I called him up. He was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I followed the team all the way up into, they went all the way to the state championship. They ended up losing. But I also told the backstory of like the history, the tradition, like when I played and the people that played before me.
Yeah.
And this documentary, my thesis project, actually won a national award. And so what
age were you at that? How old were you?
I'm like what, 21, 20, like
that's big, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
you just kind of like glazed over that, but that's a big accomplishment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially, bro. So that's important, bro. I said that too with my story because like this whole time I'm like, bro, like I'm just gonna get a desk job. Like I thought I had to go to film school on the West Coast,
gonna be a pencil
the East
pusher.
Coast. That's what I'm saying. But when I won a national award, bro, for that thesis project that I did, that long form documentary, that's what gave me the validation of like, this is what I'm best at. Yeah. This is what I'm most passionate about. This is what I'm going to go into the, the workforce doing. Yeah. And so that kind of changed my whole projection. What is the word? Projection
we need to
my
stop
career.
Using that word, bro. It just changed the path of your career,
it changed my mindset, bro, because it was like, this is where I'm going to be most valuable in the work field, is doing what I love, right? And so I graduate. I have, I get my master's degree. I have a resume because of that TV producing, directing class that I took of all these episodes. I have a national award documentary. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rip my whole resume up and I'm just going to go all film and try to find a film job. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Cinematography Lounge podcast. This episode is sponsored by a course that I created called the Cinematography Lounge Masterclass. I break down my whole process from the business side as a freelancer, but also as a cinematographer and doing breakdowns. I'm really trying to show as much of my process as possible. And so hopefully you guys can find it helpful. If you want to learn more about the course, click on the link in the description. But that's all I got for you. Back to the episode. And I get married in the middle of that, right?
That's a lot, bro.
Yeah, so I got married to my high school sweetheart. Shout out to my wife, Herrera. And so I got married in college. We were dead broke. We ended up moving to Kansas City because I wanted to get into a bigger network, bigger market. Right? And so I thought I was gonna like go to Kansas City, find a film job, but we actually lived with family friends, and so in their spare bedroom. So we were married, just graduated. My wife was pregnant. And she was doing her student residency here in Kansas City. I didn't have a job. We were basically homeless, like in our first year of marriage, straight out of college. So we lived in this.
How did the wedding? Like, I just have questions because, like, I'm married and I know I dropped a lot of money on our wedding, and I just don't. I would be nervous, but you took a leap of faith. You loved, you married the person you loved, and you're like, let's make this work. And then you had a child on the way. Like, how do you, like, bro, I don't know how to even, I can't even keep my PlayStation controller charged,
Bro, that's why I tell you, bro, like, if you want to have a kid, bro, because I was dead broke. I was dead broke, bro, when we got married and had our first child. So luckily, bro, because I got this grant, I also got a graduate assistant job. I got a GA student job. And so that graduate assistant job paid for my tuition.
Hmm.
And so the grant money that I was receiving, I got to pocket it while I was getting my master's degree. So there was almost like
Say
$10,000. So instead of paying my tuition,
Yeah.
I pocketed it, and then that's how we paid for our wedding. But that's a whole nother tangent.
Bro,
Honestly, I wish we
the
could have.
feds
I wish
after
we
you,
would have
bro.
went to the courthouse, bro, and then like had $10K to put down like a down payment or at least an apartment.
Bitcoin.
You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, bro. Bitcoin.
Well, that's a whole different episode.
But anyways, bro, my first job out of college when we was like basically homeless, living with family friends.
Yeah.
I got a job at a bank being a bank teller. And
Dang.
that's when I found out, bro, that I was ADD. Cause I was
What were you doing, bro? What were you doing, bro?
I was depositing people money, right? They came in to get a deposit,
and then
but
you put it in your bank.
I was giving them withdrawals. So I was giving the money out. It's instead of depositing, bro,
This dude,
I was
Ocean's
withdrawing.
11, bro. This
Bro,
dude's
and
Ocean's
so
11.
I did that a couple times, and I was like, "Yo, why can't I focus? Like, I'm not dumb.
Bro,
I'm like, I'm not. I have a master's degree,
I got
bro.
a master's degree.
Hey, I got the papers to prove it,
Papers to
but I couldn't
giving
focus.
cash out.
I couldn't focus, bro.
They
And
fired
so I
you.
took
How
all
long
these.
you last?
I took all these tests, bro, and I confirmed like that I do have ADD. But like,
And we're
stuff
not
that
making
I'm
fun
super.
of. And let's clarify, we're not making fun of people that have ADHD.
No,
we're
bro,
just
I'm ADD,
we're just
bro.
laughing about the situation.
So, I found out I had ADD, but then I realized like the stuff that I'm passionate about, bro. Like I go all in, and I'm like hyper focused. There's this thing called hyper focus. So that's what happened to me when I was in college. I would like hyper focus and knock out these episodes, or hyper focus and knock out this documentary.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing in basketball. Like I dedicate my life to basketball because I was passionate about it. So anyways, 2 weeks before, I would say I had about maybe 2 weeks left. They're about to fire me. I finally landed a film job at this small agency in Topeka. We was living in Kansas City, and Topeka's about an hour away. And so I moved to Kansas City, bro, to find a film job. But I actually found a film job in my hometown.
That's
Topeka.
funny.
And so, and I found it, bro, because I dropped a trailer for my documentary that I released, because I did a whole Kickstarter. It was a whole thing, bro. I did a Kickstarter for it. I raised money for it. And somebody seen the trailer and was like, "Hey, when you're ready, I have a job for you." My boy works; he's the manager at this agency. Yada yada yada. Fast forward, I hit him up when I was ready, and I got hired because of my, like I said, my resume, my documentary, the stuff that I was doing in college.
Yeah.
They saw the potential. You know what I mean? And from that, I spent 3 years there, and that was like my mini kind of like extended film school, because I learned from other filmmakers with professional cameras and professional lighting. And it was like, dang, you guys got 3 cameras? I'm gonna do a 2-camera setup when they were only doing 1 camera. Oh, you guys got a Movi? Movi was brand new at the time. I'm like, well, shit, I'm using this every shoot. And nobody was using that stuff at the agency. And I came in, and I was like fresh and had these ideas.
Yeah.
And so my work was like elevating within the company. And I started seeing that, hey, this isn't just something that like other people are noticing how good my work is as not only a cinematographer, but a filmmaker. And so, we hired, so I'm like 2.5, 3 years in almost.
Yeah.
We outsourced a job, like a big job, to this dude in his small production company. And I looked at how much he was making, and I think he made like $12,000 on like one job.
Shut
and I was
up.
Bro, yeah, and I wasn't making that much money in like 3-4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So that I'd
At
say
the
that, bro,
time.
because that's when the wheels started turning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, dude, I want to be the outsourcer.
Yeah.
If I see his work and I feel like I'm just as good as him, if I cut out the middleman, then I could be the outsource guy, right?
Yeah.
But at the time, I was still learning. So that was when I first like implanted that kind of idea in my mind that I was gonna. That's like my dream to start my own business. It's my dream to freelance.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what capacity, but that was like my dream. So I started in-house first, learned a lot, took a bunch of courses, even on their dime. And I think I shot like over 100 videos and things like that. Just kind of fast-tracked my growth.
Yeah.
I ended up finding another job here in Kansas City that was in a kind of bigger cameras, bigger stakes. I wanted to get that, kind of that type of experience before I went out on my own.
Yeah.
So I had like a 3-year plan of like, all right,
wow.
I'm going to this new job. It's this big corporate job to be an in-house cinematographer. I'm going to work on these bigger sets, learn as much as I can, and then start my company. So
all that while juggling a family. Like, let's not forget about that.
facts. Yeah. So, but at this time, bro, I'm a year in at that bigger company that I moved to. My third child was just born, right? And so we were able to move on up, bro. We was like the Jeffersons, bro. Every time I got a new job, it was like
moving on up.
we got an apartment, bro, and then we got a townhouse, and it was like it was love, right? So at this time, bro, like we moved to a bigger place, like I was making a little bit more money. It was the most money I made at the time. I think I was making, I'll share out, like, because I had a master's degree, I negotiated like a $70,000 salary, and I was making $40,000 at the first job that I had.
Oh, so this is big for you. This is like,
it was, bro. It was like we almost doubled our income, and it was like, and I had a little leverage, bro, because I had a master's degree, and that's how I figured out, like if you have a master's degree, you can, negotiate a higher salary.
So just a little,
and all I did was ask.
And I have a question. Do you think you should, for people that are watching this, do you think everyone should at least try to go to school to do something? Like rather, like a business degree or some type of degree if they want to get into film? Do you think that'll kind of help them?
I think people ask me that, bro. Like, and I made a whole YouTube video on it.
And that was a question, actually. Yeah, that was a question that was sent to us.
But I'm gonna put it in the description too, because I made a whole video on that. But long story, some form of education, whether it's working in house, and maybe that's your education. Maybe you're maybe you're in high school, you're fresh out of high school. You have to just continue to shoot and learn and do and just work on your craft, and that might be your form of education. So whether it's YouTube, formal education, or a job, and you're learning on the job, like that, like it doesn't have to be a film school in general. So back to, like, I was working at this company. I'm a year in. My third child was just born. And so I come back from paternity leave, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, bro, sitting on my cubicle.
Yeah.
And I got my head down, bro. And I'm kind of
like, where you like, why was your head down? Were you sad?
So
like, what were you thinking?
It was like I kept doing the same projects over and over, right? And it just wasn't like everything I did was like I couldn't share it. It was all in house. You know what I mean? So everything I was doing was like the same things. It wasn't like I wasn't really passionate about the work. Yeah. And then I remember I just wasn't happy, bro. Like I'm making the most money I've ever made. So like I'm making, around $70,000 a year. And I remember thinking like I'm getting paid to put my talents on a shelf instead of like, I'm seeing other freelancers. Like at this time, I'm linking up with like other freelancers that we're hiring. So I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing the freedom that they have.
Yeah.
And like I said, I went into that job knowing that my next step was to build my own business. Right. Yeah. So I'm a year in. I remember being at my cubicle, bro. And I remember thinking like, I'm not happy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful. I was trying to struggle. I was struggling with the Lord in my faith of like, okay, I'm content with what I have, like, thank you, God, for that. But I'm also ambitious. I feel like I need more. And I feel like I'm not like fulfilling like what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah. So I remember praying, bro, like, God, and I'm at my cubicle and I'm praying, bro, like if God, if there is any way I could build my business up faster, like if there's any way to get to that sooner, then please help me find how I can do that. And it probably wasn't 2 weeks later, bro, like literally. I remember my schedule was cleared, and I got an appointment at 3:00 p.m. on a Thursday, like at the end of the week, and I don't have any work, and I'm like, yo, am I about to get fired? Like I was like joking around with my coworkers, like, bro, is this the big one? Yeah. So I ended up getting terminated, bro. Like 2 weeks after I said that prayer.
Dang.
And it was just like I was like I had an entrepreneurial mindset in like a very corporate, box, and it just wasn't a good fit. And
were you scared? Were you nervous? Like, what was going through your mind? Like,
yeah, bro. So when I first, I felt it coming, so I had a couple days to prepare. But when it actually happened, bro, I remember like I went to the car, and I called my wife, bro, and I was just like, I just sobbing, bro. I was just like, because I told her when I went in, I was like, I might get fired. Like if I call you, like I'll let you know. I went to the car, bro, and I was just like,
we all know that feeling, bro.
Bro, literally, bro, I was crying because I felt like a failure. Like I literally felt like all the work that I had put up into that work, like up until that point, like I just failed my family. Yeah. Like I'm jobless, and like how did I get to this point, right? So I went back.
Frame in those movies is like, this is what happened. You're wondering how I got here,
Right. And so that's how I felt, bro. But like I went home, I talked to my wife about it. We prayed. I would say like we took a day to pray. And like I always say, like I lick, a day to pray and like lick my wounds to feel sorry for myself. And it was the next day, bro. I remember talking to my wife. It was like I can either spend like 2 months in this hiring process to try to get another job because I feel like I have the resume, I have the degrees or whatever, or I can take this opportunity. I had severance pay. We had money saved in the bank, coincidentally, because we were trying to buy a car at the time.
Oh, wow.
Cash.
Yeah.
And then my wife's daycare business just literally just started like bringing in business the moment that I got fired.
Yeah.
So we had this like little nest egg of like a window of opportunity. And I was just like, you know what? Like I may have gotten fired, but like this might have been the door that God opened for me.
Yeah.
And instead of me waiting and because I was scared to like quit, God pushed me out the door, and that's how I saw it. And so I basically, bro, the next day, bro, I woke up at like 4:00 in the morning. I cleared out my garage. We had a garage sale. I made like $500.
Dang,
I bought my first piece of equipment. My wife gave me a couple $100s to do like marketing, business cards, website, and I basically hit the ground running. Like from that point on, bro, it was like it was like do or die for real. Yeah. Especially because I had kids, bro, and I had a family, and it was like it's do or die.
How many kids you have at this point? What, 3?
Yeah, right. So Jared was just born, and so in my mind, bro, this is where like I always tell people like I literally had this mindset of like I had no intentions of like quitting that soon or like unless I got fired, I would not have started my own business. But it was either in my mind when I made the decision like okay, I'm gonna go for it. I told my wife in a year if this doesn't pop off, like if I just suck at the business, then I'll go find a job. But like I can live with like failing, but I can't live without like with not trying. You know what I mean? Because then I'll have regret. So I had a long vision, bro, of like where am I gonna be at in 3 years if I go now and do my thing? Where am I gonna be in 5 years? So I was thinking long term, and so that's kind of where it started, bro. And then long story short, I invested in some gear.
Yeah.
And then halfway through the year, bro, we was on like probably like month 4 or 5. I wasn't getting no work, bro. And I told my wife, I'm selling all my gear. I'm gonna just go get a job. This isn't responsible. And she literally laughed in my face. Yeah. Like she literally like laughed at me. And I would say,
it's
bro,
so funny because I know Rena. And seeing that is really funny. Yeah.
Bro, that's exactly it. So like having a supportive wife, you know what I'm saying? Like helped me through, those low times. And I would say about 2 months later, bro, that's when I decided like, okay, bet I'm gonna just do YouTube. I'm gonna just be active. I'm gonna just do. I'm gonna hop on short films. So like 2 months later,
like I met you.
That's how we met together, bro. Because I wasn't working at like this one week I had free, and somebody asked me to hop on set to like grip and just help. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't know anybody in the Kansas City like network of filmmakers. Let me hop on this set. And then that set, I met like 3 or 4 people that I still rock with today. Yeah. You were one of them, and that kind of like just meeting other people, man, encouraged me. Doing. Like you said, like what you did, bro, just like having that mindset of just doing the thing. You know what I mean?
This is a powerful thing, man. This is a very powerful thing.
And so that's like, so fast
your
forward.
Mind, if people didn't catch that, your mind is a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Just, your mind.
100%, bro. 100%. Because I had the mindset. So I carried basically like my work ethic, bro, in that first year. I'm literally like, bro, I'm telling you, like, no lie. I'm waking up
at 4:30. And the trajectory of where you were going.
Trajectory, not the trajectory, the trajectory. Yeah, that's
shout out to Riley for
trajectory. But bro, so the mindset that I had in basketball, right? And I always like athletics helped me, bro. Like just kind of going from like ground zero to getting to where like I feel like I guess I found some sort of success in the cinematography world is like having that work ethic and that basketball mindset of like, I seen the work. I have a tangible example of like, when you put in the work, the results will come. Like, and I've always said that, like, that was kind of like my motivation is like a quote from Michael Jordan. And so bro, I took that same work ethic in the film world. You know what I mean? And I just didn't quit.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're alike in so many different ways. Like I was in a bad accident when I was younger and I wasn't supposed to walk again. I wasn't supposed to do this or that. And that mindset, same as Adrian has, like, I don't like to hear the word no. Adrian knows this, like, and that's how we're so much alike. And I think that's why over the years, we've done so many projects together. We don't like to hear the word no, so we're very much like, hey, let's figure it out. Like, what do you need? And we take that into our clients. Like, okay, what do you need? How can we figure it out? Like,
right. Yeah. No,
what
it's
can
just
we do to
yeah,
figure it out to make it work? You know?
bro. And one of the like when I was in college, my basketball coach used to say like find a way.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh,
that
find a
was
way.
his motto. Like find a way.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how like the first year of my career started.
Yeah.
And then so so I started getting a little bit of momentum. You know what I'm saying? Like I started getting a little momentum. The first year, I think I made like 32,000. Like I grossed like 32,000.
Hey, bro, that ain't bad, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. I made $32,000 on my own.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like my wife
yeah.
supplemented our income with her daycare business.
Yeah.
But it was like I was proud of that. It was like less than half of what I was making at the corporate job.
Yeah.
But I was proud. I was much more prouder doing that and making that much money. You know, because it was like finding my own clients and stuff like that. And it was like I was only finally on my own. I was trying to get information from all over the place, bro. Like DPs that I would follow on Instagram, YouTube, and that's part of the reason why I started Cinematography Lounge, to kind of give back of like, you know, because I didn't have a source of resources.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm asking this DP, he has a Q&A on his Instagram, and I'm like, hey, bro, how do you find like commercial work, or like how do you find work as a DP? And I remember him saying, number one, link up with directors, and number two, link up with producers, because the directors hire the DPs, and then the producers are also in that hiring process, depending on like the size of the job. And I remember thinking, I'm like, bro, I never heard that before. Like I'm trying to build a production company when
you really should be
trying to freelance as a cinematographer. Like I didn't know anything about the cinematography world until I made a profile on Production Hub, which is like people can find you and, you know, what you do in the film world. And I started getting hired by directors like independently, not to do, you know, full scale productions, but to shoot it and then hand off the footage. Yeah. So once I found that out, I'm like, okay, this is a lot easier way to make money as a DP than doing a production company. So I pivoted into doing DP work instead of trying to scale a production company. And then when I got a hold of that information of like how to or who to network with, I remember praying like, I need to link up with more directors, bro. I feel like I'm just hidden gem that like I have the skills, but I don't have the resources. I don't have the relationships. Yeah. And literally again, bro, it was almost like the next day, bro.
And this is when we already had met. This is when we already met.
Yeah. This is like,
that's kind of crazy to me. Cause like when I met you, I thought like, oh man, like he's already has some stuff lined up. I thought he already knew some people. So it's about that perception of you carrying yourself as, hey, I'm a cinematographer, I'm a DP, you know, and I did not know anything of this at the time.
Yeah, bro. It's funny that you said it, because even when we was on that job of that short film, I remember somebody tried to hire me after that to grip and to like gaff. And I remember telling him like, I can take this quick $600 or I can be like, no, I actually good. DP. I'll only DP. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was turning down work after that because I'm like, I don't want people to see me as anything other than a DP.
And I want to, I want to throw this little nugget in there. I didn't know. So Adrian, you went and did the thing of like linking up with directors and producers. And in the same
that
token,
was like my hustle. Like my hustle was, how do I find directors and producers?
And what's kind of crazy is I was doing that, like did not know I was doing it, but most of my friends are DPs and cinematographers.
Right. And that's your hustle as a sound mixer.
I didn't know that, you know, but I didn't know that at the time. But as I, you know, as I went down through my career, I started to recognize, oh, duh, like who hires out the crew most of the time?
Right.
And so, then I was like, yo, I know Adrian. It just, all things started to click. I was like, I know Marcus. I know Devontae, you know.
And those are, and we're your first clients.
Yes.
And that happens because we do something for free and then we're networking across instead of trying to like network up. Yeah. You know? And we built our own crew, and that's from the ground up. And so
we've gotten and we both having the chance of hiring other people, which is like what me and you are all about, like trying to bring other people on and show them the way, whether, you know, they want to do that specific thing or not.
And then, bro, to connect the dots. So we meet on a set of a short film called You Shoot Videos. I'll just say it was You Shoot Videos. We met on that set. Somebody asked me, and I was, you just networking with people, talking to people on
Yeah.
set. They're like, what do you do? I was like, yeah, I'm a DP. Do you do sports? I was like, nah, I mean, I love sports. I'm a former basketball player, but, you know, I'm not in that, industry. And somebody said, man, you should link up with this dude named Micah Brown. Like, I think you guys are like-minded. You guys could.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I just heard that. And then I had coffee with somebody else, another local cinematographer.
Yeah.
And they said the same thing to me. So I kept hearing
The
this
same
name,
person.
like, bro, I kept hearing this, like, who is this dude?
They kept mentioning Micah Brown.
Yes, bro.
Wow.
And so
I did not know this.
So fast forward to
I'm learning a lot, bro. I thought it was your best friend, and I'm learning so much about you through this podcast. Like, what else are you hiding from me? Is your name?
I
A1?
actually got 6 kids, bro. No play.
Made me spit in my water,
bro. So this is where this all connects the dots, because like I'm on that set, I hear that same thing, and then I'm praying again. Like now I get this information. I need to link up with directors, producers, and then like 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the gym. I'm on, and I get on Twitter, and then I see this name, Micah Brown, like on my feed
again.
So somebody had retweeted. So I'm like, man, let me just reach out to this dude. Man, I keep hearing about it. So I introduced myself. I'm like, hey man, I'm a cinematographer. I keep hearing good things about you. I just wanted to, encourage you. Just say, keep doing what you're doing, and like that's it. Basically, I just said what's up, and I encouraged him. And then, bro, he hits me back, and he's like, hey man, I'm actually looking for a cinematographer. My DP just went to LA. Let's have breakfast. Yeah. And so we had breakfast like literally days after. We clicked, almost like me and you, how we clicked. Yeah. Me and Micah clicked, and come to find out, like Micah is like a director, producer, in the sports world. Really well. At the time, connected. He had like ESPN 30 for 30, Showtime, and so just really well connected. And like we're on the same wavelength because we were both family men. Yeah. And then he's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And I've never told this story like publicly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't even think Micah knows this story. And so he's like, "Hey, what are you doing next week? I have this shoot, for the MLB. If we,
and you were probably thinking connect, like MLB, like what?
It was like MLB Network, and I'm like, I at that point, I haven't done anything. I've done like 2 or 3 things that were like on small TV channels, like the Reels channel or whatever. So basically, he was like, "Look, I like I don't even have to see your work. I like you. If we click, if you're loyal, we can make a lot of business together." And so I was like, "Man, thank you," because all I need is a chance. All I need is an opportunity.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We hit it off, and then that next week he basically hires me for a job to be cam. So this is like my opportunity. I'm like excited because I know I'm like, I remember going to like this small group with like some church friends that same week, and I'm like, yo, I have this opportunity I've been praying for, and I just if this goes well, it can lead to like other things, and you just never know. I get on the job, and we're filming. I'm operating the B cam, and the camera dies.
No way.
Mid interview, bro. And I'm like, dang, bro, my shot's over. Like my opportunity's done. So we pause. Micah's cool about it. We check, the card. It's not corrupted or anything. Everything's smooth.
Isn't that the worst feeling? It's like that meme where the dude's like, all right, thank you for coming out. And like accidentally just hit record. and he didn't. Yeah, but
and
he didn't record the whole day.
Yeah. It wasn't complete to my fault because there was no countdown. The battery wasn't saying, But at that time, bro, I was shooting on a Canon C300, but this was my first time shooting on a Red. And I told Mike, I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm trying to like get more experience.
Trying to level up.
Red, bigger cameras, level up.
Level up.
And he's like, all right, cool. I'll give you opportunity. You know what I mean? And so then that happened. I'm like, dang, But long story short, the shoot went well. This is also COVID just hits, so nobody's working for a couple months.
Because that's when I got the Netflix job through COVID.
So,
I forgot about it.
So COVID hits, bro. We're starting to work together. I'm started building this relationship with Micah. COVID hits. There's no
things are going on good, bro, and then it just shut down.
Everything shut down for like 3 months. Yeah. So we get through COVID, and there's a job. Because this is important too, man. I tell people this part of like what like me coming up. Like I had a podcast I did with a friend from Topeka, and I was DPing at the time. I was still getting like TV work a little bit. Like I said, I wasn't taking any other jobs but DPing because I don't want other people to see me anything other than that. Even though I could do a quick 500, 400 job here there. Yeah. So Micah hits me up. He's like, we hadn't worked together because of COVID, so it's been a minute. He's like, hey man, I know you don't PA, but I got this 3-day gig.
Mhm.
You know, I could pay you like $400. You know, it's not much, but you know, I need some help. And so I remember thinking like, all right, cool. Cause like, I want to build rapport with Micah. I don't know him that well. And I'm like, yo, I just want to like, however, if I can get around him, that's cool. Like, and so my wife, I remember the first day I came back and I told my wife, like, I was like handing out waters and stuff. And so like, it was like a running joke. Like I was like the water boy, right? And my wife was like, this is like, she was like, this is beneath you. Like, you shouldn't, like, you're not a water boy, Adrian. And I was just telling her, I was like, look,
you're the best water boy.
But look, I was just like, I told her, like, it's just every time I'm around Micah, like, I just get more work. Like, I don't know how it happens, but something happens. The next day, bro, I go back. It's like the last day of the shoot. And we're wrapping up. Micah gets a call. And he's like, hey, I can't, he hangs up the phone. He's like, hey, that was ESPN. I can't take the job next week. Can you take it for me? Can you DP for me? So now I went from PA to an opportunity to DP at ESPN job, like for the first time. So like I said, I told my wife, I went back and I'm like, yeah, I told you, like every time I'm around Micah, just building the relationship, something good happens.
Yeah.
So my real first opportunity comes where during COVID lockdown, we're doing Zoom interviews at this reporter's house at this, and so we're recording, like we're interviewing Brett Favre via Zoom, Joe Montana. Long story short, I end up
was like, that on
I
that
knew
shoot?
This was no, it was me and it was in St. Louis, and so we hired a sound op locally, and so this was like a 4-day gig, bro.
Fuck that sign up. No, I was playing.
This was like a 4-day gig, and so I knew that this was my opportunity. If I killed this, sky's the limit. Yeah. I ended up doing so well that ESPN called Micah, and Micah actually worked out a deal to where we would do all of their interviews for Sunday Night Football, these basement interviews for the whole season.
Wow.
So that gig, bro, that I did, it locked us in for the whole I
didn't know that.
Yeah, it locked us in for
the whole
winter. I want
to say thank you because like I was on some of those jobs.
Bro, it locked us in for the whole winter. And, you know, Micah negotiated like, hey, you know, we did a good job. Why don't you just hire us every single time? He tells me, bro, that kind of saved his like studio. Yeah. And bro, it helped me get through the winter when the winters are typically slow in our industry. Oh, 100%. And it helped me save up to buy my first Red camera, which fast forward, I did the Jada Williams job, which is she's an amateur athlete, basketball phenom. That goes viral. Yeah. That's on my website, my resume.
At the time, she was amateur. She's probably
she's in college still. She's in college still.
But she's in college still. Okay, yeah.
NIL making really good money, doing really well. And so, anyways, that basically from PAing right to being humble enough, bro, to be like, no, just like I'll do my best job, whatever it is. If there's like, you know, to build a relationship for long term, that ended up being a DP job. Wow. Ended up securing like my whole and Micah's whole winter. Led me to buying a new camera. Led me to doing a project on that camera for me wanting to show what I can do with like, you know, real equipment in the freelance world. And then that's when everything started snowballing. ESPN. I started getting hired for I think my second biggest job was I did like a Chime commercial. I did a sleep number commercial.
Bro,
and now it's like it's compound interest, bro, in the film industry. It's like compound. Not only you compounding relationships, you're building relationships on top of relationships, but you're building projects on top of projects. I mean, and as my I don't mean to cut you off. But as my career started doing this, me and you are like this. So I'm bringing you on every job that I'm doing.
It was
my
every
guys,
job. It was like literally every job.
And we had our own little crew, like Mikey, Isai, Derek came into the fold. These are our guys that we work with now every day. But as I started ascending, everybody else started
Adrian,
ascending. And so that's how, like, basically how I got from, like, basically being fired. I always say being fired from, like, and now it's like the first year I did, the first year, bro, I made 32,000, and then I think 3 years later I finally like made my first 6 figures as an independent DP.
Dude, and I think when people say 6 figures, I think it's such like a tossed around like thing, but like we really need to put in perspective like how big 6 figures actually is, you know?
Bro, I had never, like, my parents did make 6 figures, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom, like my mom stayed at home and raised us, and my dad did construction, so we were in a single, you know, household with 8 kids.
Dang.
You know, and so like nobody, you know, like we didn't
Yeah.
grow up like with any extra abundance, right?
Yeah.
But cinematography, bro, allowed me to get to where now, like what you said, man, we have relationships to where we're traveling the country.
Bro.
We're turning down jobs. I'm giving jobs to, you know, my
Mhm.
other guys that I'm bringing up with, you know, that match. That's a good fit for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I created the Cinematography Lounge, bro, because when you get to a certain point, I get all these questions about like on my Instagram and stuff like that. So I created Cinematography Lounge YouTube, the Patreon, and now we're doing the podcast to kind of like further. I don't know if you want to say education, but
Mhm.
like exposing the film industry to like up and coming filmmakers, cinematographers, sound mixers, whoever. And so that's why I'm excited to start this journey with you, so that we
Yeah.
can, you know, continue to expose and demystify like this whole process of how to break into the industry.
Yeah, and you know, I think a lot of people see the ending part of it and they don't see how we got here. Like,
Right. But now, like I said, like so I break this stuff down on my Patreon, like day rates.
Yeah.
I'm making a course that I'm about to release. It might be released when this, you know, podcast releases.
Yeah.
But like I tell I give out industry secrets about day rates
Mhm.
and what to charge and how to charge and things like that, because that type of information and the stuff that we want to share and we'll share in this
Mhm.
podcast, like hopefully, you know, for, you know, the next 100 episodes are
Mhm.
things that like aren't shared widely. And so that's why I'm excited to start this journey with you, and we can continue to like even dig into other people's stories and how they, you know, their perspectives and things like that. In this first episode, we wanted to kind of give our backstories. You know, in the future, we'll bring on guests, we'll have different topics. But after, you know, at the end of every episode, we're going to do what's called a martini shot, which on set is like the last shot of the day. So for this martini shot, we're going to do a Q&A. On Instagram, we had put out, send in some questions. We're starting a podcast, sending some questions. So I got 3 questions. I don't know if you got a question, but I got 3 questions. I'm going to start with the first one.
I think we're combined questions, right? Or no?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you got questions in your DMs from when you
Um,
retweeted it or reposted it, but
yeah, let me see here.
so the first question that I got, bro, are you ready for this?
I'm ready for the first question. Is it for me?
Yeah, it's for you.
Oh, okay. That's surprising. Okay.
All right. First question is for Laurent. What are the odds that Laurent falls asleep mid podcast at least once during this season?
Whoa. Okay. What are the odds I fall asleep?
Yeah, bro.
Percentage?
Yeah.
Are we talking
you give your
percentage-wise?
percentage. I'll give my percentage.
I would say there's a 65% chance, and that's pretty high.
Producer Riley says 85%. 85% chance.
85% for Riley.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give you some leeway, bro. I'm gonna go 9. I was gonna go 90. I'm gonna give you 70. 70%. 70% chance, because there's a 50%
Oh, sorry, bro. I just fell asleep right then, bro.
So we were all wrong. It was 100%.
100% of the time I'm falling asleep.
Because if I will say this, and then we're gonna move on to our next question. We're on a job.
I'm a hard worker.
Look,
it was hot. It was hot. I didn't have water.
Look, me and you
Snacks
are on a
were
job.
Not near.
We're shooting this documentary. It's a very sensitive topic. Poverty. We're in this lady's house,
bro.
And you know it's comforting. You know, like we're so we have to do the interview's wrapped up.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get what's called room tone. So room tone is like silent sound. So for the editor, they can put that, you know, sound bed in between the pauses of talking points if you need to edit, you know, together words or whatever. It's called room tone. Anyway, so we have to be quiet for about 20 seconds. So Laurent calls for room tone. We're all quiet. About 30 seconds passes by. I'm like, dang, this is a long room tone. I look over and Laurent's asleep. I look at the director to make sure he doesn't like catch on. So I'm looking
my boy
and
had
then
me though.
I nudge Laurent. Laurent wakes up. All right, that's room tone. Room tone. bro, I almost died, bro. I almost died, bro. And this is a very serious interview, bro. Very serious topic. Laurent falls asleep during room tone. So that's not a bad question, bro. That actually was sent in by Micah Brown, who will be our first guest of the podcast, by the way. We're bringing Micah Brown on the podcast. We talked about it too much. He's going to be on the podcast. Second question, bro. A serious question. What are major differences in the way you prep for a commercial shoot versus an interview or documentary style shoot. So I'll go first.
Yeah, you go
maybe,
first.
Maybe it's different from you.
Yeah.
In a commercial shoot, so like I did a commercial for this hospital recently, and they sent me like a ton of references of like, this is the look and feel that we're going for.
Yeah.
And it depends on the size. It depends on the size of the shoot. Some if it's like a, let's say a 10-person crew, it's going to be different than it's like 30-person crew because of the budgets and stuff. So when you get higher, the director, and it depends on the director might have a storyboard that they want exactly, these are the shots. They might have a real detailed shot list, and then I might send them references. Like, hey, this is the look I'm going for. Some DPs do previs where they'll map out, if we know exactly where we're going to shoot, where the camera's going to be, kind of blocking. What's called blocking is where you're going to, where the camera is in relationship to the actors and stuff like that. Yeah. So it all depends on the size of the shoot. But for me, most of the time, I spend a little bit more extra time dialing in like any references that I like, prepping with my gaffer. Gaffer is a position so I'm the head of the camera department, and then I have a crew. The gaffer is Grip and Electric, which handles all like my hands and feet. They're the ones setting up the stands, putting up the lights, and I'm like kind of directing them. Hey, this is the look I'm going for. So I'm prepping more with my gaffer of like, hey, this is the gear that I think we need for this. Yeah. This is the look. I'll send them photos of the like for this hospital. I sent them like the photos of where we're going to be filming. Yeah. I'm actually going to shoot something through this window. I'm going to need a negative here. So it's a little bit more prep and getting the look because you're kind of building a scene.
This is all for commercial, right?
This is for commercial.
Yeah, it's all for commercial.
For docs, docs are a little less. I'm more prepping gear. So like if there's a longer lens that I need to make sure that I get that. I'm asking questions like, hey, is this verite? Verite is a style of, it's kind of in the moment. And so do I need to do a camera rig or shoulder rig where I'm walking with the subject? Or is this like set up scenes? Because sometimes in docs you can set up scenes and it's not as much prep as a commercial. It's more, you might have a natural light or you might have one light here, but it's more like run and gun style. And so commercial, you're going to spend a little bit more time prepping and curating the look. Yeah. And that depends on the size of the production and the director who you're working with. Because sometimes they just want you to do your own thing. Sometimes they're more involved. And then run and gun style is more for documentary stuff and, more lensing and what cameras we're going to use and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I mean, I agree from the standpoint of Adrian being one of my good friends, my brothers, along with Devontae and Marcus. Like, I've seen that. And I don't want anything a part of it because it's like, that's a lot.
And that's the fun part too. That's like, because you get to, especially commercials, you get to dial in. Yeah. You get to flex that muscle a little bit more than just doc stuff to where it's like docs, you're worried more about getting the right moment. You know what I mean? Or somebody getting a wide, you're getting a close up. Yeah. Commercial, you can spend the time setting the lighting up and you can tell people exactly where you need them and what you need.
For commercials for sound, it's always like you have 20 clients, you have the agencies there, and you want to make sure for sound, like they can hear great. Usually, honestly, I have always had like 12 up to like 25 IFBs, which are listening devices, so they can watch, what's on the screen, whatever the DP or camera op is shooting. And they have to have good clearing sound going into that. And with that, the way I prep for that is I ask so many questions. Like Adrian can tell you, like I'm asking. Adrian,
it is like, different when I'm working with you on doc stuff because it's like I'm telling you, like, hey, we just need 2 lives. It's a 2 interview, whatever. Yeah. Or like, hey, you're gonna mic this person up. We're gonna verite. On commercials or narrative stuff, we just did a short.
It's really intuitive.
It's like, hey, make sure what's the acoustics. Are there trains on the outside of the building?
Yeah.
Because it's more
and I'll
narrative and commercial like the same thing.
Yeah. I'll talk about it because I do sound.
Hey, sometimes I gotta do your job for you. And push
I mean, in all seriousness, like there are questions I will ask the DP because he will go through the scout and I won't be there for the scout. Right. Like that's that's a serious thing. Like sometimes the sound won't be able to be on there for the scout. So I'm asking so many questions like, can we turn off the refrigerator? Can we turn off the air? Yeah, can we do this? Can we do this? Like controlled as clean as possible. Okay. What is the shot? Like, do I need a boom operator? Do I need a utility? But that's what I've learned through commercials. I bring everything when it comes to commercials. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I bring all my gear when it comes to commercials because I don't know what's needed or what's going to happen.
All right. So those are the questions that we got from the Q&A. I think we're going to try to do a Q&A every single time, every
Thank you so
episode.
much.
So if you have any questions, send them either if it's on YouTube that you're watching it on, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
If it's on Spotify, wherever it is, put it on comments or just DM us at the Cinematography Lounge, at LaRon Sound, at Adrian B. Herrera DP. We'll have, obviously we'll link our socials, but there are 2 questions, bro, that I want to ask every single guest that comes on the pod. And so for this being the first episode, I'll ask you and then I'll answer. And then we'll end the pod that way. So the first question is, what's one thing you can look back at that has been consistent in your life, that has you where you are today? So if there's like one thing that you can see a thread throughout your life that you've been consistent at, it can be a characteristic, it could be a family member, it could be whatever that throughout your life where you're at today. What's that one thing that's been consistent?
I think being myself and making people laugh, bro. Like, I have the innate ability to connect with people, and that's been like that through my whole entire life. Like, I can go into a room, and by the end of it, like, we're literally laughing, crying. There's been so many times me and Adrian's been on shoots, bro. We can't even look at each other. So I would say for myself, like brighten the room and just let my personality shine.
And bro, when we work together, it's not like work. It don't.
No, bro, it is not. Like it is not.
Bro, I'll just say this one job. We worked the ring ceremony for the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. So like they're accepting their rings and we're the crew to come in and film it and do sound.
We're only celebrating with the Chiefs. Full access, bro.
Mahomes, Kelsey, all that. And that does, and especially when the job's already cool, but it's work. But when you're working with a friend, when you're working with friends, it's like that much more fun. So it's because we just had a good time, bro. I would say, bro, for me, there's 2 things because I feel like in my life there's been there's like sections of my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, there's pre-faith and there's post-faith, you know? And so something that's been consistent, like pre-faith and post-faith. When I came to faith after college and I started depending on God more and stuff like that. But I would say, I have like I grew up watching my dad, like the work ethic that he had, you know what I'm saying? And so I've always, never made excuses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that work ethic has everywhere that I look back, it's like that has been the sauce for me. You know what I'm saying? And following my passions. So it's like if I'm not passionate about it, I'm not going to pursue it because I know I'm not going to work as hard when times get rough. You know what I mean? And then I would say, bro, at this point, I met my wife in high school. Her support, bro, has been consistent. You know what I mean? And having somebody there, I think, is a blessing. We talk about all the time having our spouses, and not a lot of people in this industry have that, or even like kids like myself.
Bro, shout out to my wife too, bro. Like,
so like our wives are on the same wavelength, but like the support, because it's not easy. So having that support because there are weeks when we don't get work. There are months when we don't get work. You know what I mean? So having that level head of like with the highs and the lows, you have to be consistent with that of just like having some type of support system. So at the top of my dome, I would say that like the work ethic has always been there, and the support of my loved ones and my parents. My parents have always supported me. I kind of shout them out. Like always, like my dad he loaned me some money for my first camera, and I was so happy when I paid him back with interest, you know, and he didn't have to do that because we don't come from money, you know? So I would say, the support, bro, from loved ones.
Support is huge.
And so, and the last question, bro, is, and I'll ask everybody that comes on the pod, what do you got going on outside of film? So I know this is a Cinematography Lounge podcast, it's a film podcast, but, you know, we're more than filmmakers, we're more than sound mixers.
We're people.
What do you have outside of film that you are passionate about, or like, you know, a project, or what are you doing outside of film that you want to plug?
Outside of Instagram, if people that know me, I love food. I love going around different places. I currently have a Nom Nom traveling like Instagram channel that I'm trying to get off the ground. And like it's me and my wife, and we go around eating places and going to different spots. It's more so like something gear for my wife than me. Like, I just go out and eat, and she came with the idea, like, we need to put this out publicly, and I was like,
because you guys love traveling. Like,
we love traveling, man. Like, we travel so much.
That's the no kid life, bro.
No
like,
kid
you guys
life.
enjoying
All I have is a PlayStation.
Cruise,
I don't have
random.
Yeah, bro.
Tuesday.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I don't want people knowing like I'm out here like big balling like I am, but but we love.
So shout out to Nom Nom, bro. Getting that,
thank you.
Support that.
Nom Nom
you know
Undertaking.
Yep.
Yep.
I love the photography, the videos that you guys are doing.
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean? So that's like something fun.
There's a lot of backlog.
I love that. Yeah, I love that for y'all because that's something y'all can do together too.
Yeah, 100%. What about yourself?
For me, bro, so when I started YouTube years ago, like I launched my YouTube channel like 5 years ago after college. So I've had the same YouTube video, the YouTube channel since college.
Make it quick. I don't know how long my battery's gonna last.
Okay, I relaunched it. When I launched my YouTube video and started doing educational stuff, my motto was at the end of every episode, I would say, hustle hard and pray harder. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for joining me. Hustle hard. And so my motto was hustle and pray.
Yeah.
And so I've had this idea for like 5 years that I'm just now trying to, get off the ground is a clothing line called Hustle and Pray. I'm wearing mine right now. This
fresh.
is like a prototype.
Fresh off the print.
A design that I'm, going to drop hopefully at the end of 2026. You guys are getting the first look at it now. This is just a sample, but I'm in pre-production of dropping my own clothing line. I'm very passionate about not only the motto, but like I love fashion.
Yeah.
So combining those passions, and that's something completely outside of film that I've always wanted to do. And so now that I have the headspace to do it, I'm not overwhelmed of traveling and things like that. I'm pursuing that. And so Hustle and Pray, it's hustlexpray.com is going to be the website. And when I launch it, I'm going to announce it here, and it's in the pre-production right now.
Yeah,
just getting the logistics done, and I'm super excited about that, bro. One episode down, bro. This was episode 1. We got through the hardest part. Bro. It's just starting, doing. Yes. And so I'm excited, bro, for this journey. That's all we got for today. Any last words? Make it quick if you do. Any last words?
I ain't got no last words, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready for episode 2.
All right, awesome. That's all we got for you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Follow the Instagram page, like and subscribe, and excited to bring you guys more content. So that's all we got.
Thank you. Peace.